guys, it's June the 8th, 2024, and hope everybody's having a wonderful start to their weekend today. Today I want to talk about alcohol cravings and how to defeat them. This is one of those really important topics, for anybody out there who's trying to quit, has quit, even myself. I've been sober over 2 years now, and I still get cravings. It still happens to me almost daily. As time's gone by, it gets less and less, but I still have days where I think about it. There are times when, I'll have something trigger me, especially when I'm like watching a movie or television or something like that, or I get myself into a really stressful situation. I'll start to think about how nice, a cold beer would be, or a mixed drink. And, there's been times where I've seen, things on television, and I could actually taste it in my mouth. I drank so much for so long. I mean, those memories are hardwired in my brain. I don't think I'll ever be able to get, completely rid of them. I drank every single day, from the time I woke up in the morning until the time I fell asleep. And, alcohol was the majority of the fluid that I drank. I didn't drink a lot of water, coffee, basically alcohol was it. If I was thirsty, I drank a beer. And if I wanted to, catch a buzz, I started drinking alcohol and liquor. And I rotated between the two. If I was outside doing yard work or whatever, I was drinking beer the whole time. And then after I got done, I'd take a shower, and then I'd move over to the hard stuff. But the point of today's video is that I want to talk about ways to get through the cravings. If in fact you are, just now trying to remove alcohol from your life, or if you've already quit and you're still having problems with cravings, I want to give you guys some tips and ideas, some things that you can use and practice that might help you work your way through them. Because some of these things really do help. And each individual is different, and what might work for me might not work for you. But I've got a pretty long list of ideas here, and try each of them. Try something. If one doesn't work, try another one. If that doesn't work, go down the list. Try each and every one of these until you find one that might actually work for you. And if none of them work for you, maybe speak to a healthcare professional or something like that about, ways that they could help you through it. But one of the first things on my list for today, which I think is one of the most important things that we can do in order to, beat the cravings, is avoid the triggers that cause us to want to drink. If you find yourself in a stressful situation, remove yourself from it. If it's something, going to a party or something like that is a big trigger for you, don't go to the party. Whatever it is, if it's going to restaurants and seeing people drinking in restaurants, don't go. I don't go to restaurants majority of the time that serve alcohol. If I go out to eat, and I don't go out to eat very often, it's probably once every few months I'll go out and get something to eat, but I'll go to a place that doesn't serve alcohol. Most of the barbecue restaurants around here, they don't serve alcohol at all. So I can go in any one of those places, and, it's basically just water and sweet tea is what you can get, or lemonade. But I just try my best to stay out of those places. I don't want to be around them. If there's some big function downtown and there's some big beer fest or something going on, I'm definitely not going to go to that. That's just asking for me to have cravings. And there's certain situations too, if the beach is a big craving for you, don't go to the beach until you feel comfortable enough that that the cravings aren't going to be just so overwhelming that it's going to take over all your thoughts. Because when we have cravings, that's what it is. It completely takes your mind over. You'll be pacing around just thinking about, how good that drink would be. And, you can't think about anything else, and it just completely takes our mind over. So I think just avoiding the triggers is one of the biggest things that we can do. And I understand you can't avoid all triggers. There's things that are just going to happen. You're going to be driving down the road and there's going to be a billboard up. Or you're going to drive down the road, you're going to pass that liquor store that you used to stop at all the time. Or you go into the gas station to pay for your gas, and there's that, whole fridge full of beer. There's gonna be certain scenarios where you just can't get away from it, but do your best that you can to avoid those triggers. Another one that I found that helps out so much is, you start getting that craving, you really want like a cold beer or something, chug a bottle of water. Or another one that I have found, and for any of you guys out there who are beer drinkers, drinking the bubbly waters, like the carbonated waters, like bubbly. I mean, these days they're all over the place. Even all the grocery stores have their own generic brands of them. But grab a couple of those carbonated waters, and I'm telling you, you take one of those, get it super cold, and chug it. It's just like drinking a beer. I mean, I'm being completely honest with you guys. I'm not joking. And I've talked about this before on the channel, and there have been a lot of people who have tried that, and they said it actually works for them too. I'm telling you, you get one of those things really cold, and you just down it. You get those bubbles in the back of your throat. I mean, that's really, what we're looking for is that nice, cold, crisp, and the bubbles, that kind of burn that you get from the carbonation. And there's not a lot of flavor going on there. And if you imagine it to be a beer, it can be a beer in your mind. And it can really help get away from those cravings. And not to mention, you're filling your stomach up. And once you get your stomach full, those cravings kind of go away for a minute. And maybe find something else to do in the meantime. But if you're getting those really strong cravings, try one of those bubbly waters, or either just chug a bottle of water. It really does help. Another thing to do as well is weigh yourself out. Do some kind of exercise. If you're getting really bad cravings, go for a walk. Maybe work out. Do something to expel some energy. That is one of the things that has helped me tremendously. And although I can't do a heck of a whole lot, just going for a nice walk, wearing myself out, it relaxes us after we're done. And I just find that to help out so much, just to do some sort of exercise. And not to mention, it helps us sleep so much better at night, too. And I know a lot of us, use alcohol as a means to fall asleep. This day and age, there are so many people that are suffering with insomnia, having problems going to sleep. We have, a digital device in each of our pockets, blue light and all that kind of stuff. And there's just constant emails that come through, and text messages and notifications on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it may be. Your phone's constantly going off. Turn your phone off when it's time to go to bed, or either turn it on silent. And don't let all those notifications keep bothering you. Keep opening up your phone, because that's going to keep you awake longer. Getting really good rest at night. It just helps us feel better the next day, and we're not going to worry so much about drinking if we're just feeling better in general. I can promise you that you're never going to wake up the next day and go, man, I am so glad I had a drink last night. It just doesn't work like that. How many times you ever woken up and said, man, I'm really glad I got drunk last night? No, you wake up the next morning and you go, I'm never doing this again. And I can't believe I did that again. And I can't believe I spent $300 at that bar last night. Because you guys know as well as I do that, we go out, we go to a bar, we start feeling good. Next thing next round's on us, and we're buying everybody shots. And then before we know it, we go to cash out at the end of the night, and our bill's $250, $300, and we're like, how in the world did I spend that much money? And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, well, I just spent my electric bill money last night. I was feeling good, and I wanted to make everybody happy, and everybody was your friend that night, but not so much the next day. And like I said, I don't know hardly anybody that ever wakes up the next day and is like happy that they got intoxicated the night before, because you just don't feel well. Make yourself a nice non-alcoholic beverage. Soda water and cranberry juice with a twist of lime is a classic one, and that's a really good drink. I'll make that drink for myself. Sometimes it's just nice. There are all kinds of mocktails out there that you can make. But while I'm on the topic of mocktails and non-alcoholic beverages, the one thing I do want to talk about is the NA beers. It's your life, your preference. You do whatever you want to do. I just want to say this one thing about the NA beers. Yeah, there are a lot of people who use those, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. Like I said, it's your life. But I do just want to say this one thing, and a lot of people aren't aware of this. A lot of those non-alcoholic beers do have minuscule amounts of alcohol in them. They are not totally alcohol-free. Now, there are some brands out there that are. Now, there's like the Heineken 00. They claim that it has absolutely no alcohol in it at all. But a majority of the NA beers that are out there do have like 0.5% alcohol. So you are ingesting some alcohol. And if you drink a 12-pack of a 0.5% alcohol, I mean, it adds up. And, you're probably, equal to a beer or two after you would drink a 12-pack of those. So just be mindful of that there is some alcohol in there in those NA beers. I am not a fan of them. I don't drink them. Just really quick, when I was trying to quit one time, I was drinking the non-alcoholic beers. And the mind of an alcoholic, how our minds work, we always find a way. And, where there's a will, there's a way. And in the alcoholic mind, we always find a method. And what I ended up doing is, I started drinking the non-alcoholic beers for quite some time. I probably drank them for a couple weeks. But towards the end of that, I got to the point where I was buying actual beer, and then I would take the non-alcoholic beer, pour it down the drain, and then refill the beers with real beer. And that's just how my mind worked. So I'm spending, and those NA beers are not cheap, so I'm paying $15 for a 6-pack, whatever it is, for some really high quality non-alcoholic beers, right down the drain. And then I would take the real beer, pour it into the bottle, and sit there and drink that right in front of my wife and pretend like I was drinking non-alcoholic beers. And that's where it ended up for me. And that's why I don't even play around with them at all. Do that one thing that you've been putting off at your house, that one project that, you keep telling yourself that you're going to get to and you never do. Find something to occupy your time. If you find something that's going to take some time up, that shower curtain rod that's been, keeps falling down and needs to be addressed, take care of it. Not only will you feel good that you got a project accomplished, but you took a bunch of time up, you wore yourself out a little bit, and you're just going to feel so much better at the end of it. And you spent some time, and occupied your mind. You're not just sitting there thinking about how good that next drink would be or the drink would be. If you're anything like me, I'm sure that you have tons of projects around your house that need to get done. And if you're anything like me as well, I'll start one project and I'm off, I'm walking through the house to go get something for that project, and then I'll see some other project, and then I'll start on that, and then before you know it, I've got 10 projects going on. And then, next thing you know, I'm wrapping them all up, and before I know it, it's been like 8 hours I've spent doing all this stuff. And that's just the way my mind works. I'll see one thing, I'll get started on it, then I'll see something else, and next thing you know, my whole house is a mess, and I'm, so deep in all this stuff that the time just flies by, and before I know it, the whole day's over, and the cravings are gone. Break your days into day parts. Don't think about it as I'm quitting drinking forever, because that can cause us anxiety. Just wake up in the morning and think of it like this. Think of, I'm not going to drink this morning. I'm just not going to drink this morning. So I'm not going to drink till 12. And when you make it to 12 o'clock, you'll say, well, I'm just not going to drink this afternoon. And once you get to 4 or 5 o'clock, go, well, I'm just not going to drink this evening. And as the evening goes by, say, well, I'm just not going to drink tonight. And before you know it, the day's over. And it's a new day. The days go by so fast, especially if we find something to keep ourselves busy. And, not thinking of it in the big scheme of things, and just breaking it down into, I'm not going to drink this morning, I'm not going to drink this afternoon, I'm not going to drink this evening, I'm not going to drink tonight. Before you know it, the day's over. Start over again. I'm not going to drink again this morning, I'm not going to drink this afternoon. if you start thinking of, I'm never drinking again, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to have another cold beer again, or I'm never going to be able to have that beer on the beach, I'm never going to be able to have a beer on a boat on the lake, or whatever it is that you really enjoy drinking when you're doing, I'm never going to be able to drink while I'm camping ever again. Don't think of it like that. Just think of, I'm just not going to drink for today. I'm not going to drink for this little day part, and the day's over. And before you know it, you start building momentum. And as you build that momentum, before you know it, a week's gone by. And then the momentum keeps building. And as that momentum keeps building, the next thing you know, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And as the time goes by and you build more time on your belt, the more, or the less likelihood that you're going to break that cycle. You know, you start getting really deep into it and you've got months on your belt, years on your belt. You know, why would you want to go back at that point? You know, and the more time we get, the easier it gets. And, you know, we start getting proud about how far we've come, and we don't want to break that. So just think of it like that. You know, don't think of the huge picture. Just think of today, in this little moment that I'm in. And before you know it, the day is over. There are medications like naltrexone. You know, maybe talk to your doctor about that. After I did that interview with Sky's mama, you know, I've had quite a few people reach out to me, and they went and got naltrexone prescriptions, and it's helped them tremendously. It might be something to consider. You know, talk to your doctor. There are also other medications that the doctors can give you. You know, speak to your doctor, and I've talked about this over and over again, but if you're, you know, just now thinking about quitting drinking, you've got a lot of time drinking under your belt, you know, it's something that you really need to discuss with your doctor anyway. You know, always give that disclaimer, you know, speak to your doctor, because, you know, there are two drugs that, you know, if you stop abruptly can cause serious problems, and that's benzodiazepines and alcohol. And if you've been drinking for a really long time and really heavy, you really need to speak to your doctor about that to begin with. And they're, you know, they might put you on a medical detox. And, you know, you know, a lot of times they do prescribe benzodiazepines, but they'll give them to you for a short period of time. And it'll just help you just be a little bit more comfortable through the process. You know, you're not going to be so stressed out. You're just not going to be, they're just comfort medications. You're not going to be as uncomfortable. And the medication can help you not have a seizure, because seizures are possible if you stopped abruptly, and they can help you through that. I was on a medical detox when I stopped drinking, and I mean, I gotta say, I mean, I made it through it. Now I don't remember that time period. I don't remember that time period. I was in the hospital and they had me on Ativan. I was really out of it during that period of time, but I went through a medical detox, and it helped me. So it might be something that you might want to consider. I would definitely speak to your doctor. You know, if you're thinking about quitting and you've been drinking for a long period of time, there's nothing wrong with a medical detox. It's completely okay. You know, whatever it takes to get to the end goal. You know, we have to do what we have to do. And alcohol destroys lives, it destroys our bodies. I mean, it just causes so much damage. And, you know, if that's what you're thinking about doing, you know, good for you. And I'm proud of you for even considering it. But, you know, talk to your doctor, please, and just make sure that you're going to be okay. If you are planning on quitting cold turkey, just make sure that a doctor gives you the A-OK, that you know, that you're not going to have any problems. And if you do have problems, then, you know, then it's going to be on your doctor. You know, but just speak to your doctor first. You know, breaking old habits is really important too. You know, like a lot of us, you know, first thing we get off work, what's the first thing we do? We reach for a drink. I mean, I was, you know, at the end of my drinking, I mean, I did this for years, but as soon as I got off work, I mean, I was drinking on the way home. I would sit in my Jeep and have my cup, and I would already have a cup with ice in it. I would go to the ice machine, get a styrofoam cup before I would leave work every single day, fill it up with ice. As I started my car, before I even pulled out of the parking lot, I was in my Jeep, pouring liquor into my cup. I had my mixer right there on the passenger seat. I'd pour that in, stir that up, and I had a mixed drink for the ride home every day. And there would be days too where, you know, I knew my wife, I didn't want her to see me drinking. So I would drink one mixed drink on the way home. Then I would like park somewhere close to my house, mix another one up. As I was coming up my driveway, I would be slamming, a liquor drink, like a cup like this. That's like 90% liquor. And I would slam that. And then I would have my water bottle on me with vodka in it that I carried around in my pocket or whatever. I mean, it was just, the point is, break our old habits. If you drink every single day after work, just go straight home. If you stop by a bar after work, go straight home. Don't go to that store that you used to stop at. Just whatever your habits are that, were, associated with your drinking. Just try to break those old habits. Going to AA meetings. Watching videos like this, watching anybody else's YouTube channels that discusses this topic. You don't necessarily have to watch my channel. Watch any of those other guys that are out there. There are tons of other channels on YouTube talking about sobriety. Watch those. They help. And that's why everybody's out there making these videos. They're trying to help other people. One of the reasons I do these videos is because I want to talk about all the health consequences that came along with my drinking. Go back and watch any of my videos where I'm talking about that. If you're having really bad cravings, go watch one of my videos where I'm talking about cirrhosis. You don't want to end up like me. Just watch it. That's why I put those up there, is to let people know the health consequences that come along with excessive drinking or drinking in general. Watch those videos. Go back. I've got a whole catalog. There's over 200 videos on the channel now. Just scroll through the channel. Find one of the videos where I'm talking about pancreatitis or liver disease or something like that. You do not want to end up with that. Go watch that. See all the things that I've dealt with. Throwing up blood and ascites and just all the stuff, the ERCPs I had to go through, and pancreatitis, and being in the hospital. I mean, I've spent over 2.5 months in the hospital. Watch those videos. If they scare you, then good. You just don't want to end up like me. Take a bath. That's another really good one. Or a hot shower. You start having really bad cravings, hop in a nice warm bath. It does help relax you. And I've looked into this. There has been a lot of research done. They say that by raising your body temperature, by taking a hot bath, can really help you go to sleep at night. So go on the internet, look it up. There's a ton of research out there talking about that topic. Taking a really nice hot bath before bed can really help you get to sleep, help relax you, help relax your muscles. Just makes you feel better. So if you're having real bad cravings, just go hop in the bath, pour some bubbles in there, some Epsom salt or something like that, and soak in a nice Epsom salt bath. Maybe pour a little bit of lavender oil in there, something like that. There's all kinds of like aromatherapy that you can use. Light some candles in your bathroom, some incense, something like that. Lavender's really good for relaxing. I remember a long time ago reading about taking lavender and putting it on your wrist. And, if you start getting into a stressful situation, putting that up and smelling it, you can spray a little bit of lavender oil like on your shirt, smell that. They were also talking about taking like a handkerchief or something like that, putting a little bit of lavender oil in that. You start ending up in a really stressful situation, a place where you start to really have some serious cravings. Have a handkerchief with lavender oil in it. Take it and just put it up against your nose and smell it. It can help relax you. Call someone that you're really close with, a family member, a really good friend, anybody. Call someone. If you're having a really hard moment, and you're really struggling, the cravings are hard, call somebody. Let them help you talk you through it. And that could be for AA. You have a sponsor. Call your sponsor. Especially somebody who understands what you're going through. Another fellow alcoholic. Give them a call. Talk to them. They know what you're going through. They're going to be empathetic to what you're dealing with. Give them a call, and they can help you through it. The cravings don't last forever. They eventually do go away. And they can be pretty intense for a little bit. But, if you can work your way through it, you step out on the other side, you're going to feel so much better about yourself if you didn't indulge, you didn't give in and drink. I've talked about this, but going for a walk is a really big one. Just go for a 15-minute, 30-minute walk. You start getting that craving, go for a walk, come back, and see if you're still thinking like that. And then when you get back, drink yourself one of those bubbly waters. Chug one or two of those. and then tell me if you still have a craving after that. I guarantee that it's pretty much going to be gone after that. Read a book or watch a good movie or a television show or something. Anything that'll get your mind off the cravings. Occupying our mind is one of the most important things. They say, idle hands are the devil's playground, or workshop, or however the saying goes. But not just sitting around all day long with nothing to do. Our mind starts to wander, and we really start thinking about how much that drink would make us feel better, or whatever it is. Staying busy and keeping our minds occupied really does help. There are breathing techniques that are out there, and this is one of those things I'm not the greatest at. I haven't done a whole lot of practice with it, but there are a whole lot of breathing techniques, and there's tons of YouTubers out there that make videos about this topic. Go look those up. I was recently reading a book that was discussing just that, and it was on a whole another subject, but they were talking about these breathing techniques, and they had someone teach them these breathing techniques, and they were blown away by what they could achieve with just breathing techniques. There were people that were actually saying that, certain breathing techniques, they were like having like out-of-body experiences and stuff like that with those. I have no experience with it. I have no idea. But from what I understand, breathing techniques can really, really help. But I'm not the guy to ask anything about that. I don't know anything about it. I've seen some stuff. I've done just a little bit of research about it, but that's not something that I'm really privy on. But definitely do some research on that. Look at some YouTube videos. There's a ton of people out there who have videos on that subject, and you could learn something. And you start getting into a situation where you start to really have some really bad cravings, or you're really stressed out. Those breathing techniques can really help out a lot. There's a bunch of things that are on the internet that you can learn about. There's some stress techniques. Like there was one I remember back in the day, like pinching right here on the inside of your hand, tapping on your wrist, like pushing on the back of your ear. There's all kinds of things. I tried some of those back in the day when I was really, really stressed out, but this was back when I was drinking. My anxiety was just through the roof all the time. They didn't help me back then, but I was drinking as well and just making my anxiety horrible. So definitely look into that. And once again, talk with your doctor about a medical detox. If it's something that you're just now starting off on, talk to your doctor. They can help you out. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Whatever it's going to take to save your life, to stop drinking. If you're in a situation right now and you see that alcohol is destroying everything around you, you're lying to everybody. It's destroying your job. It's destroying your finances. It's destroying your family. Your wife, your husband is thinking about leaving you because you're drinking. Your relationship with your children isn't good because of your drinking. Just things really start to fall apart when we're in active addiction, and it's bad. We lie to everybody. Well, at least I did. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I did. I lied a lot, I drank and went to work. I was constantly worried. Are people going to smell my breath? Just the constant worry of where's my next bottle, and, when am I going to be able to get my next drink? And, I got to make these little mini bottles to put in my socks to carry with me to go here and there. Man, life is just so much better without alcohol. And, yeah, having a mixed drink or having a beer or something like that, yeah, it can relieve our stress for a little bit. But what comes on the back end from it, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. There are so many health consequences, financial consequences, getting in trouble with the law, driving under the influence, just all kinds of things that come along with this. And once that's removed, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to worry about when you're driving down the road and you see that Crown Victoria. It's a white Crown Victoria. Is that a police officer, or is that just, somebody driving a Crown Vic? Who is that? I remember driving down the road and I'd see a Crown Victoria or like a Ford Explorer, a white Ford Explorer behind me, or, any other of the types of police cars that they drive. You see one of those, my heart would drop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get pulled over. And I've had 4 mixed drinks. If I get pulled over right now, I'm going to jail. And you know, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You have nothing to worry about. There's nothing to hide. Nothing. It's just so much better. You don't have to worry about where you're gonna get your next $15, $20 from to go buy a bottle or your 12-pack or whatever it is. And the money that you're gonna save, just everything, your health, your family, and people are gonna be proud of you for stopping. So just think about that. And like I said, removing those triggers is another really big one. And I know that you can't get rid of all of them, but if you know it's a place that is going to be a big trigger or a certain circumstance, do your best not to go to it, especially for a while until you're really comfortable in your sobriety. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. And I just wanted to make this video today. I actually was speaking with one of the subscribers, and I told her I was going to make this video for her today because her birthday's coming up, and she wanted to know, you know, what I did to defeat the cravings. And some of these things on the list I do use. But I hope this video helps any of you guys out there, especially you. You know who you are that I made this video for. But I hope this video helps any of you out there who are struggling with cravings and or trying to quit right now, and or just trying to stay sober. I know how tough it is. I really do. And I really hope this video helps somebody out there today. Well, with that said, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. I love y'all so much. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.